Hello, my name is Mary. Since I was a child, my biggest dream was to become a journalist or work in magazine publishing. I loved writing and keeping up with trends, so I decided to study journalism and media in college. After I graduated, I worked with several companies. They weren't very famous, but I was happy because I was living my dream. A few years after graduating, when I was around 31, I met my future husband, Jerry. Jerry came from a wealthy family that ran a successful business. This is important because Jerry's mother, Nicole, never approved of me. She often showed her dislike, thinking I wasn't a good match for her son and criticizing my career in journalism and my education in the field. At first, Nicole's negative attitude and harsh words were very hurtful. It's tough when someone constantly puts you down, but for some reason, Nicole thought it was okay to treat me like that. Thankfully, Jerry always defended me against his mother's cruel remarks. His father, Willie, also supported me, standing up for me whenever he saw Nicole's mean comments. Over time, I became more resilient to Nicole's jibes. Jerry even suggested that we should limit our interactions with her, but I didn't agree. Jerry worked in the family business with his father, and reducing contact with his mother might have made things awkward for Willie, who was genuinely kind. I didn't want to cause any strain in their family or make Jerry cut ties with his family. Through it all, we managed to stay strong. I learned the importance of patience and resilience, knowing that keeping family relationships often means dealing with tough emotions and situations. Handling Nicole became a regular part of my life because we only saw each other a couple of times a month. However, things changed a lot when her husband, Willie, had to travel overseas for work. Nicole didn't want to stay alone, so she moved in with Jerry and me until Willie came back. I had doubts about this arrangement, but believed family should come first. Living with Nicole was hard. She always found something wrong with what I did and constantly criticized me. Even though her comments were relentless, I managed to cope without taking it personally as long as she didn't cause real harm. However, my patience was tested during a particularly stressful week at work. I was leading a major redesign of a section in our magazine, a project that was crucial for both the publication and my career. Success could lead to a promotion. Nicole didn't seem to understand the importance of this project and was indifferent to the pressure I was under. One evening, just before the big presentation, I was discussing my worries with Jerry, and Nicole overheard us. She came into the living room and interrupted with her opinions. As I shared my fears about failing in front of the company's top executives and potentially missing out on a promotion, Nicole bluntly dismissed my concerns. "Well, Mary, I overheard your conversation, and honestly, you probably don't have the skills for this. You'll likely do poorly tomorrow," she said, without being asked. Her words were harsh, and she added insultingly, "Just see it as an opportunity to quit and perhaps focus on being a housewife." Her comment hurt deeply, showing not just a lack of support, but also a strong disregard for my professional dreams. This confrontation highlighted how hard it was to live with Nicole and tested my commitment to keeping peace in the family despite our differences. Nicole's remarks that evening crossed a line when she suggested I'd be a better fit for her son if I gave up my career. "I can't believe he married a journalist," she said scornfully, making it clear she meant to belittle my profession and my efforts. Feeling frustrated, I responded firmly, "Mom, you're overstepping. I don't have time for this nonsense. I have more important things to worry about than your opinion of me or my relationship with your son." Nicole seemed shocked by my assertiveness. "How dare you speak to me like that?" she said. "So it's fine for you to insult me, but not for me to defend myself," I retorted. She turned to Jerry. "Say something. Your wife is disrespecting your mother." Jerry calmly sided with me. "She's just defending herself, Mom. I don't see anything wrong with it." Nicole accused me of manipulating Jerry. "Look how easily you turn your back on family. Mary will regret this." Her intrusion into our private conversation and the blatant insults left me seething with anger. Jerry tried to apologize for his mother's behavior, but I stopped him. He wasn't to blame for her hurtful words. After the confrontation, we decided to end the night and go to bed. My mind was too preoccupied with the upcoming presentation to dwell on Nicole's threat. The next morning, I arrived at work early, ready to give my presentation. However, when I opened my laptop, I was met with a heart-stopping surprise. All the files on my desktop were missing, and my laptop appeared to have been reset. Panic set in as I quickly checked my email, hoping my earlier precautions would save me, but even my emails had been deleted, including the trash. Overwhelmed and on the verge of tears, I explained the situation to my boss. His reaction was far from understanding. He reprimanded me harshly before instructing me to forget the presentation altogether. The weight of the situation was crushing, and I struggled to hold back tears, feeling both betrayed and helpless. When I discovered that my boss had a backup presenter in case I faltered, it became painfully clear that my prospects for advancement at the company were bleak. Devastated by the turn of events, I rushed home, tears streaming down my face. Jerry was still at home, and upon seeing my distress, he decided to take the day off to support me. He embraced me as I wept, and once I had somewhat regained my composure, he gently inquired about what had happened. "What's wrong, honey? Didn't the presentation go well?" he asked, puzzled. "There was no presentation, at least not by me," I replied, my voice still trembling. "What do you mean? You put so much effort into it. You barely slept these past few days because you were working so hard," Jerry said, his concern deepening. I explained the heartbreaking situation. When I got to work, I opened my laptop only to find that everything had been deleted. "How did that happen?" he asked, bewildered. It was both embarrassing and humiliating to have to explain it to my boss, I said, feeling the weight of the situation. I admitted feeling the sting of the memory. "Didn't you back it up somewhere else?" "I did," I said. "I emailed it to myself, but my inbox and even the trash had been emptied." Frustration was clear in my voice. Jerry's face fell with sympathy. "I'm so sorry this happened. What did your boss say?" "He was furious and called me unprofessional and lazy. He had someone else ready to do the presentation," I replied, bitterness hard to hide. "But you still have your job, right?" Jerry tried to find a silver lining. "Yes, but I'm stuck. There's no room for me to advance or move up. I'm done here," I said, feeling defeated. "Don't worry, honey. You'll find a better job. I'll be here for you through it all. Just keep working here until you're ready to leave," he reassured me, his support unwavering. "Yeah, I'll give my notice now. I can't believe I worked so hard for this, and just when I was close, it all slipped away," I said, the realization sinking in. The incident left me deeply affected. I took pride in my work, and to have a project fall apart so disastrously was traumatic. Though I continued to work there for another week, my heart wasn't in it anymore. I submitted my resignation, counting down the days until I could leave. Throughout this ordeal, Nicole's reaction was oddly gleeful. She once saw me in tears and made snide remarks, gloating over my misfortune. Initially, her words fueled my anger, but eventually I realized that her satisfaction with my struggles only reflected her bitterness. As I thought about Nicole's behavior, I couldn't shake the suspicion that her delight might stem from the hope that I would finally quit my job and become a housewife. Or, perhaps more unsettlingly, that she had a hand in the ruin of my career. The thought that Nicole might have sabotaged my laptop haunted me, fueling a nagging intuition that she was involved in the disaster. Before approaching Jerry with such a serious accusation, I knew I needed concrete proof. Determined to catch Nicole if she was indeed sabotaging me, I devised a plan to monitor her actions discreetly. I purchased a hidden camera designed to look like a smoke detector and installed it on the office ceiling. I sensed the device with my phone, setting everything in place to capture any misdeed. The next part of my plan involved baiting Nicole into revealing her possible involvement. I made it a point to appear visibly stressed and anxious around the office, hoping to draw her attention. Jerry was still at work, unaware of the unfolding drama. As expected, Nicole took notice of my anxious pacing and couldn't resist inquiring. "What's wrong? Are you stressed about another project?" she prodded, taking a deep breath. I confided in her, playing into her curiosity. "I've been given another chance to present my work, and it could lead to a raise," I said, masking my anxiety with a hint of hope. "Oh," Nicole's interest was piqued, her tone laced with a mix of surprise and skepticism. "Yes, and I'm nervous because this is my last chance to get things right. I have to do well," I continued, watching her reaction closely. "Why aren't you telling Jerry? Is it because you're embarrassed about your job?" "No, it's not that. I just don't want to disappoint him again. Please, let's keep this between us, okay?" I pleaded, trying to gauge her response. "I'm not promising anything, but it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow," she replied, her words chilling. "Why do you always want me to fail?" I couldn't help but confront her. "I just think you'd be better off as a housewife. It's less embarrassing than what you're doing now," Nicole scoffed, dismissing my concerns. Frustrated and needing space to prepare, I finally said, "I don't have time for this, and I don't care what you think. Please leave me alone so I can practice my presentation before Jerry gets home." With that, Nicole left, and I was left to hope that my hidden camera would reveal the truth behind her unsettling satisfaction. Nicole's smirk as she glanced at my laptop lingered in my mind long after she had left the office. I stayed put a little while longer, finally leaving only when Jerry arrived home. Throughout dinner, Nicole's occasional smirks continued, each one sending a ripple of unease through me. Later that night, after Jerry and I had settled into our usual routine of watching a few episodes of our favorite TV series, I decided it was time to check the footage from the hidden camera I had installed in my office. As we watched, the screen showed Nicole entering the office. There was no unusual activity until around midnight. That's when Nicole stealthily entered the office. I hastily showed Jerry the live feed on my phone. Initially puzzled, he soon watched in disbelief as Nicole tampered with my laptop, causing it to shut off and restart. Jerry's expression turned from shock to anger as he realized what was happening. Meanwhile, the camera captured Nicole rifling through my files. Unable to contain his frustration, Jerry stormed into the office. He burst through the door, startling Nicole, who spun around, caught in the act. "What are you doing in here, Mom?" Jerry demanded, struggling to maintain his composure. "Oh, nothing really," Nicole replied nonchalantly. "Then why is Mary's laptop open? Are you accusing me of going through her stuff?" Jerry pressed. "I think you did more than just go through it, Mom. Did you come here to tidy up at midnight? And Mary isn't the type to leave her laptop open. You know that?" Jerry retorted. "Don't talk to me like that. I'm still your mother," Nicole shot back defensively. "Yeah, my mother who seems to enjoy hurting and sabotaging my wife?" Jerry replied firmly. "We caught you on camera resetting Mary's laptop. You were spying on me? That's disgusting. How could you film me without my consent?" Nicole exclaimed, indignant. "I didn't put cameras in your room. I installed one in my office, and you went in there without my permission," I interjected, supporting Jerry and clarifying our intentions. The confrontation revealed the extent of Nicole's interference and deceit, testing the limits of family loyalty and trust. Despite the wrongdoing, Jerry remained firm in his decision. "Even if it was wrong, it's nothing compared to what you've done to Mary. I want you out of our house tomorrow," he declared unwaveringly. Nicole protested, her voice tinged with desperation, "But I'll be all alone." "I don't care. I don't want to talk to you," Jerry replied, his mind made up. The next morning, Nicole tried to delay her departure by busying herself with breakfast preparations and washing dishes. However, Jerry was resolute. As soon as she finished, he came downstairs with her bags packed and informed her that he had ordered her an Uber. Nicole pleaded tearfully to let her stay, showing rare vulnerability, but Jerry remained indifferent and retreated to our room. Left alone with me, Nicole lashed out, accusing me of setting her up. I responded calmly yet firmly, "If anyone should be yelling, it's me. You're lucky I haven't shared the footage with your friends and family. If they knew what you did, you'd lose them all." My words silenced her. After Nicole's departure, I felt a profound sense of relief. Though still troubled by my job situation, I was confident in my ability to recover and excel. Jerry supported me wholeheartedly through it all. Once my notice period was over, I took some time off to rest and plan my next steps. I enrolled in courses related to different parts of my field, focusing on a niche that could propel me further. I decided not to expose Nicole because I wanted to rise above her negativity and prove my capabilities on my terms. With Jerry's connections, a benefit of his family's wealth, I secured several promising recommendations. His unwavering support, coupled with my experience, eventually led me to a breakthrough. I was appointed as the chief editor at a globally recognized magazine. The work was challenging but fulfilling. During this time, the goal of proving myself to Nicole faded into the background. In fact, during those transformative months, we had no contact with her at all. My journey to becoming chief editor not only marked a professional triumph, but also a personal liberation from the need to validate my worth to someone who had doubted me. Jerry continued to maintain a professional relationship with his father, Willie, as they worked together, but we heard very little from or about Nicole. Willie hinted that Nicole still harbored some resentment, though he remained tight-lipped about the specifics. Despite this, I was relieved that Nicole seemed to take my warning to heart. However, I knew a confrontation was inevitable, especially when I learned that both Nicole and Willie were invited to a significant company event I was attending. The party was a grand affair, attracting numerous prominent figures. Jerry and I made sure to look our best, aware that we were now both influential figures in our own rights. Upon our arrival, Willie and Nicole noticed us and waved us over. We approached, exchanging greetings. Nicole gave me a critical once-over and smirked. "Look at you, trying to fit in," she sneered. "Ignore her, Mary. You look lovely as always," Willie interjected kindly. "Thanks, Willie. How have you been?" I asked, trying to steer the conversation away from Nicole's snide remarks. "Yeah, how's unemployment treating you?" Nicole cut in, her tone sharp. "Wait, you're unemployed?" Willie asked, genuinely surprised. "Oh yeah, she messed up at her job, and they let her go. I've always said she's not good enough for our son. Look at her, she can't even keep a job," Nicole mocked with a malicious grin. "That's enough, Mom," Jerry intervened sternly. "Stop siding with her. It's bad enough having to see her everywhere. We wouldn't have to if you just left her," Nicole spat. Jerry shook his head, his patience worn thin. "We're done here," he said, taking my hand and leading me away from the confrontation. As we walked away, I felt a mix of emotions, but also a sense of relief. Jerry's support meant the world to me, and together, we faced the challenges with strength and unity. Nicole insisted stubbornly, "Okay, that's enough. Either you stop talking or I'm leaving," Jerry warned, his patience thinning. "But Mary, sweetie, if you need a job, let me know. It would be great to work with you," Willie offered sincerely. "That's kind of you, Willie, but I can't accept the offer," I replied, appreciating his gesture but choosing to decline. "Of course not. I told you she's lazy and incompetent," Nicole muttered under her breath. Just then, my name was called out, and the room erupted in cheers. I turned towards the small stage where the CEO was gesturing for me to come up. Excusing myself, I left Willie and Nicole. Willie looked amused, and Nicole, for once, was at a loss for words. Nicole looked both confused and angry as the CEO began his speech, praising my contributions to the company and my innovative ideas for the magazine. The room filled with applause and cheers, and soon I was asked to give a speech. Gratefully, I acknowledged Jerry's unwavering support and my colleagues' collaborative efforts that had significantly shaped the magazine. I concluded by thanking an unnamed critic whose skepticism had unwittingly spurred me to excel. As I stepped off the stage, many congratulated me and curiously inquired about the critic, but I chose to keep that detail private. I rejoined Jerry, Willie, and Nicole at our table. Jerry embraced me warmly, his pride evident, while Willie also stood to congratulate me with a hug. Nicole, on the other hand, could only offer a cold glare. "Oh, Mary, this is incredible. I can see why you wouldn't want to work with us," Willie remarked with genuine admiration. "Thanks, Willie. Although I'll admit, if you'd offered me the job about 9 months ago, I might have taken it," I responded, reflecting on the past. "You should have. At least then you'd be paid more," Nicole retorted sharply, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "Paid more? I could never put a price on this," Willie quickly replied, defending the intangible rewards of my current role. "Right, she's not worth all that money," Nicole scoffed dismissively. "No, I mean I couldn't match what she's earning right now," Willie corrected, hinting at my substantial earnings. "What do you mean?" Nicole asked, her confusion apparent. "Do you want me to tell her, Mary? It might come off as boasting," Willie offered. "Sure, go ahead," I said, smiling. "Nicole, Mary's salary as chief editor is well above what we could have offered. She's making more than enough and doing a fantastic job," Willie explained. Nicole's eyes widened in shock. "Oh, I see," she mumbled, her tone subdued. I smiled, feeling a sense of vindication. My hard work and determination had paid off, and now even Nicole couldn't deny it. "Say it, Willie," I offered, looking at him for permission. "Mary makes at least 5 times more than I do in her current position," Willie revealed, causing Nicole's eyes to widen. "Oh yeah, she must be making way more than Jerry or I could ever imagine," Nicole exclaimed, her tone shifting from disbelief to grudging acknowledgement. "That can't be right. You must be mistaken," Nicole insisted, still struggling to accept the reality. "He's not mistaken, Mom. I did mean it when I thanked you. You've been nothing but a bully to me, and I hope seeing me more successful than anyone in your family stings. Anyway, I have other people to talk to." "Excuse us," I said firmly, ready to move on from the negativity. "Nicole, Willie, feel free to join us anytime. Goodbye," I concluded as Jerry and I left the table, leaving a stunned Nicole behind. Willie chuckled and raised his drink to me as Jerry and I walked away, a gesture of solidarity and celebration. I had never felt more alive and validated. It was an incredible moment of triumph, and I was immensely grateful for Jerry's support throughout it all. As we made our way through the crowd, I couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought me to this moment. The challenges, the setbacks, and the doubts had all led to this point of success. I felt a renewed sense of purpose and confidence, knowing that I had proven myself not only to Nicole, but to everyone who had ever doubted me. Jerry and I found a quieter corner of the venue where we could enjoy the rest of the evening. He looked at me with pride in his eyes and said, "I'm so proud of you, Mary. You've worked so hard and deserve all the success you've achieved." "Thank you, Jerry. I couldn't have done it without your support. You've always believed in me, even when I doubted myself," I replied, feeling a wave of gratitude. We spent the rest of the evening mingling with colleagues and friends, celebrating my achievements. The event was a blur of congratulations, laughter, and heartfelt conversations. Each person who approached me to offer their well wishes reinforced the fact that I had truly made it. My hard work and dedication had paid off, and I was now standing on solid ground, both professionally and personally. Later that night, as we returned home, I felt an overwhelming sense of relief and accomplishment. The weight of Nicole's negativity had been lifted, and I knew that I had finally broken free from her influence. Jerry and I talked about the future, dreaming about the possibilities that lay ahead. We were both excited about the new opportunities and challenges that awaited us. In the following weeks, I settled into my new role as chief editor with renewed enthusiasm. The work was demanding, but I thrived on the challenges, knowing that I was making a significant impact. My team respected and supported me, and together we pushed the magazine to new heights. The sense of fulfillment I felt each day was unmatched, and I knew that I was exactly where I was meant to be. Nicole's absence in our lives was noticeable, but it brought a sense of peace. Jerry continued to work with his father, Willie, and their relationship remained strong. Occasionally, Willie would provide updates on Nicole, hinting that she still harbored some resentment. However, these updates were few and far between, and we chose not to dwell on them. One evening, as Jerry and I sat on our porch, enjoying the quiet moments of the day, he turned to me and said, "You know, Mary, I'm glad we stood up to Nicole. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. You've shown incredible strength and Nicole through it all." "I couldn't agree more," I replied, smiling. "We've come a long way, and I wouldn't change a thing. Our journey has made us stronger and more resilient." As the sun set, casting a warm glow over our home, I felt a deep sense of contentment. The road ahead was still uncertain, but I knew that with Jerry by my side, we could face anything. We had weathered the storm, and now we were ready to embrace the future with open hearts and minds.